First at 6, the Lowell Police Chief has been forced to resign, in part over his support of armed men patrolling his streets after rioting in Grand Rapids. Chief Stephen Bucala resigned Thursday. News 8's Ken Colker has the story.
This all started when 4 men armed with long guns patrolled a main street through the city of Lowell, just days after the riot in Grand Rapids. They patrolled with the blessings of Chief Steve Bucala on the police department's Facebook page. He wrote, "We at the Lowell Police Department support the legally armed citizen and the Second Amendment." That led to a flurry of comments and complaints. Bucala also posted photographs of the 4 armed men on his personal Facebook page. Quote, "They saw what happened in Grand Rapids," he wrote. "They said it's not going to happen here. We have your backs." The city manager ordered the chief to remove his support from the police department's Facebook page. The police department on Thursday apologized on its page for what it called a, quote, "ill-considered message." The city manager today refused to go on camera. But records show the city manager cited the chief for violating city policy, including conduct unbecoming of a police officer, then gave him until 5 p.m. Thursday to resign or be fired at 5:01 p.m. "Your actions," the city manager wrote, "created an unnecessary negative portrayal of the city in some citizens' view." The city manager also admonished the chief for posts that appeared to defy the state's stay-at-home order and criticized the governor. Bucala joined the city in 1995 and became chief 7 years ago. In 2017, he was fined $1,000 after using a police computer for personal business. Last year, he was awarded a Medal of Valor for rescuing a swimmer. Today, a longtime antique store owner on Main Street supported the chief.
He was doing his job as best he could. It's a right for people to bear those arms. If people have a problem with it, there's a different place you have to go for that.
But she questioned why the armed men had Confederate flags on their Facebook pages.
Do I think those young men should have been carrying the flag? No, because I think they're throwing gas on a fire.
We reached one of the 4 armed men by phone. He defended his right to patrol the streets while armed, but when asked about Confederate flags on their Facebook pages, he said, quote, he did not recall. The city manager says that Sergeant Chris Hurst will act as the interim police chief as the city begins a search for a replacement. In the city of Lowell, Ken Colker, News 8.
Did I just hear that correctly? Did they really just force their police chief to resign because he supported a group of citizens exercising their constitutional rights and then call it an ill-considered message? That's exactly the message police should be putting out there. It's a constitutional right. I can't think of a more responsible way the police chief could have handled this. He got a call from a group of people saying that they were going to protect their community from destruction, and the police chief recognized their constitutional right, told them to call the police if they see anything, and then posted a picture of them supporting their right to do so and giving a heads up to the people in the community who might see these guys and be concerned. That's not ill messaging. That's teacher's pet level of responsibility. This police chief should get a raise, not forced to resign. You want to talk about ill messaging? What message do you think you're sending when you force your police chief to resign because he supported people defending their community during one of the most volatile times in our recent history? We're literally watching as bad actors infiltrate, pollute, and hijack protesters across this country. These types of people are undermining what are otherwise legitimate protesters by looting, destroying people's small business and dreams, and engaging in violence while setting entire cities on fire. The police are supposed to work with the community to protect the community and their constitutional rights, which is what this police chief attempted to do. What this police chief did was a perfect example of creating a symbiotic relationship between the community and the police to keep not only the community, but the people in the community safe. Of course, we don't want hypervigilantism any more than we want a tyrannical police force. So we need balance. We've got to stop this yo-yo effect of swinging from one extreme to the other. Extremes are easy to implement, but they are also very destructive. Balance, on the other hand, is complicated and hard, but way more effective when achieved. There is a balancing act between police and armed citizens. It's not one against the other. It's one with the other. And yes, there will be complications and bad actors who try to take advantage of this type of relationship, but the benefit will be so much better than the extreme alternatives. And what's with highlighting the Confederate flag in a Facebook post that has nothing to do with the price of tea in China regarding this particular situation? Yes, some people associate the flag with racism and some associate it with Southern pride. I'm a Texan through and through, and I love the South. There's no better place on earth to me, but the South is far from perfect, and that flag, to a degree, is associated with elements of that imperfection. As far as I'm concerned, if you want to fly it, as long as you're not intruding on anyone's rights. But I am getting tired of it being used by the media to scare black people away from exercising their Second Amendment rights, because that's exactly why they brought it up in this particular case. These guys are not the only people using their Second Amendment right to protect their communities. Black people are doing it. Asian people are doing it. Middle Eastern people are doing it. Latin people are doing it because it's common sense. When there is an element trying to destroy your community and the cops aren't able to do anything about it, you do what you have to do to protect that community, regardless of color. So stop trying to exploit the ambiguities of racism to scare people away from exercising their rights, because it's insulting and sets a dangerous precedent. Right now, there's a culture war against the Second Amendment, which is why I need your help spreading our message to counter their message. You can help do this by leaving a comment, sharing this video, and clicking the bell and subscribe button. Let my voice be your voice, and let them know you want to keep America tactical, because the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed wasn't a suggestion, it was a directive. Also, if you're wondering where to purchase your AR-15s are essential, I will not comply. I am the militia. I lost all my guns in a boating accident, and your state-specific Keep America Tactical shirt, click the link next to my head or the link in the description section, or if you're watching this on a mobile device, tap the small triangle on the lower right-hand side of this video and click the link in the description.